Hi, and welcome to the block preview for the singular block type. And this is the initial block, so the base building block. So the characteristics of the singular block that make it different to other blocks within the programming library is that we utilize singles, so one rep, one set of one rep, as the indicator set for all of our primary and secondary movements. So this block is great for people that, enjoy doing singles. So find that feeling of doing a competition specific rep scheme is motivating to them. So that's one major reason to do it, because obviously if you enjoy your training, you're going to put more effort into it and thus get more out of it. But also a big factor is people that need more comp specific practice. So obviously we are not completely competition specific in the sense that we're not touching weights above an RPE 9 and for squat and deadlift not above an RPE 8, but a single at 8 is one of the most specific kind of movements you can do in training in terms of giving you an indication of where strength levels are for potentially like a true max or a competition max. The single should produce a fairly accurate estimated 1RM, and then our back off percentage work is calculated from that. The back off percentages are quite low on this, so it's also good for somebody that responds well to moderate to low intensity volume work. If we look specifically into week 1, you got a single at RP 6.5 on your main squat, then 4 sets of 5 at 70%. On bench, you got a single a little heavier at 7.5 RPE, and then 4 sets of 5 at 70%. And then with the assistance movements, we're using like a ramping up style with RPE. So you do 8 at 6, 7, 8, and then you do a repeat set of that set of 8. So the RPE might be a little bit higher on that 4th set than it was when you did the weight for the 3rd set, but you're trying to keep the same weight for the last 2 sets. Deadlift, you got the same structure as we had for the squat. On tempo bench, the single remains fixed. So with the tempo bench, I'd encourage you to try to make as much technical improvements as you can. So focus on good quality execution, good movement, good control. Weight-wise, it might stay static throughout the block. So maybe your single at 7 stays pretty much the same. Your 3 sets of 3 stay pretty much the same, but you try to build that confidence in the quality of the movement, because that's our primary goal with the tempo bench. It's 5-2-0, which means 5 count on the way down, 2 count on the chest, and then press up. The hack squat follows the same progression scheme as the Pendlay rows. On workout 3, we've got low pin squat, again, a single at 7 that remains fixed throughout the block, and then 4 sets of 3 at 80%. On this, you should be able to creep up the weight slowly on the indicator set, and provided you're recalculating the back off sets from the estimated 1RM, the back off sets, so the 4 sets of 3 will also increase a little bit each week because the estimated 1RM goes up. Same thing with the close grip bench. You got a fixed single at RP 8 and then 4 sets of 8 at 65%. And the same thing I just said about the pin squats applies. As long as the single at 8 is slightly increasing on a week-to-week basis, your 4 sets of 8 will also increase as long as you're recalculating the back off percentage. The lat pull down follows the same progression scheme, same protocol as the Pendlay row and the hack squat. Looking lastly at deficit deadlift, again, a fixed single at 7 throughout the block, 3 sets of 3 at 80%, making sure you recalculate the back off sets. And then chest level pin press, again, a fixed single at 7.5, and then 4 sets of 4 at 78%. And then lastly, just GHD back extensions, not following the same progression scheme, just trying to work on keeping the back nice and healthy and moving the hips through good range of motion. That brings us to the end of this block preview. I hope you find this helpful when you go into following this block. I think the most important thing is to start conservative in the first week and just incrementally increase weight week to week. So be cautious. You're already going to get very good value from those singles. But what you need to be careful with singles is not overshooting the RPE, because there's a high fatigue cost to doing a single at RPE 9 or 9.5 when you're supposed to be doing a 7 or a 7.5 RPE. But yeah, that is the singular initial block.